What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 110 of the Access to Combat podcast. I'm one half of your host, Hugo the Boss. Hugo got next. Hugo rocking this meta tie because we won the trade deadline. Joined by my co-host.
It's your boy Ray Boogie Kahuna. On today's episode, we're going to be breaking down UFC Vegas 109, Hernandez versus Dolidze. And on the boxing end, there is no boxing. We're going to keep this one short and sweet. Before we get into any of the combat coverage, though, my brother, please tell them what the deal is.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know.
First fight on the card at men's welterweight, we have the Doctor, Uros going one-on-one with the RGV bad boy, Gilbert Urbina. Medic is 10-3 overall, fighting out of Anchorage, Alaska, but repping Serbia, 32 years old. Urbina is 7-3 overall, fighting out of Walesko, Texas, 29 years old. Interesting matchup here with a ton of variables, and honest, kind of scares me a little bit. I'll start on the Medic side. Like I said, he comes out of Anchorage, Alaska. Ain't too many fighters coming out of Anchorage, Alaska. The last great fighter to come out of Alaska in general is Jared Cannonier. Is this man Jared Cannonier? Nah. He ain't. But I'll give Medic props here, right? He's got striking. I think he's a very good striker, and I think he does have the striking advantage in this particular matchup here. What I do worry about on the Medic side is, will the takedown defense hold up? Because we have Urbina here on the other side who doesn't have the greatest striking. Does have a little pop in his, in his jab, a little pop in his overhand, but he's definitely going to be at a disadvantage. I think his path to victory here is to take Medic down, get to his back, sub him out. I think it's a clear path for him, but I don't trust the man. I don't think Urbina is that good. He might come from the better camp. He's from Jackson Wink. He might be the wackest man in Jackson Wink. Is that good enough to be better than the best guy from Alaska? I don't know. I'm stuck on it. I think Medic is the side here. I usually don't go striker versus the grappler, but I think Medic is the better fighter. But I got a weird feeling this is going to be an Urbina sub for some reason. Stinks a little bit, but Medic is the side here for me. Low confidence. Not really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this fight stinks a little bit, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think Medic is going to lamp this dude. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not sold on Urbina. I'm not sold on his process. I'm not sold on the fact that he's going to consistently go for takedowns. Questionable gas tank after a round and a half. There's a guy in Medic who was able to deal with Urabai for about a round and a half before he got subbed via bulldog choke. And to be honest, even though Urabai is a weight class down, there is video of Urabai moving around Bilal Muhammad like it's nobody's business. And Bilal Muhammad can fucking wrestle. So I don't think that's any slight. I think the fact that he survived a round and a half says a lot in terms of his development in the grappling and the wrestling. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I just don't think Urbina's process is that good. I don't trust his finishing instincts. On the floor, on the feet, he can crack, he can hit. Medic is a better killer on the feet. I think he will go after it and knows how to pick his shots a little better. I think he hits a little harder too. And he's shown me that he has a good get-up game against Urabai. Yes, once again, smaller guy, but my man was found on a woolly mammoth. He throws spears from that woolly mammoth. And I just feel like, when I see things like that and a guy that I've seen competently move around other welterweights and elite welterweights at that, I got to lean the guy that I think has had the better track record against better competition and was able to show out a little better. Give me Medic here by knockout. I with my brother, it stinks a little bit. Don't know how I'm going to play it, but I think Medic is going to lamp him. Give me Medic by knockout here.
Next fight on the card at women's bantamweight, we have La Pantera, Joselyne Edwards going one-on-one with Zombie Girl, Priscila Cachoeira. Edwards is 15-6 overall, fighting out of Panama, repping Panama, 29 years old. Cachoeira is 13-6 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 36 years old. Not Joselyne's original opponent. She was originally supposed to be fighting Mayra Bueno Silva. Silva ended up withdrawing. Cachoeira steps up, short notice. This is going to be Edwards for me. I think this is a downgrade. Obviously an opponent. I think it's an easier matchup for Edwards. I've always been a little higher on Edwards than a lot of people. Cachoeira is not going to offer any kind of grappling, and that's where Edwards has historically struggled in her previous opponents. If you can grapple Edwards, you can win. Edwards is going to be the bigger girl here. Edwards is going to have grappling of her own. I think she's got it covered. This is Edwards, and it's probably by decision. Joselyne is the side for me here.
I'm with you here, in particular in rounds 2 and 3. I think Cachoeira has bad cardio, to be frank. She cannot defend a takedown. She gets on her back. She looks like a fish out of water. Hasn't really worked on it as well as you would think she has in her UFC tenure. Joselyne's improvement. She's going to be bigger. I think she's the more technical striker. The only thing I think Cachoeira has on her is power. I think Joselyne can take it down at will and just maul her. I think this fight, if the unders look crazy or the fight doesn't go, it's like at a plus 200, plus 300 number. I say at least throw half a unit on it, low key. I think that's something I'm going to be looking at. Obviously, follow us on all social media platforms for any and all official bets that we're going to be making for the card. But this is an exploitable fight because I think it's a little bit of a mismatch outside of the first round. I think Joselyne probably going to run her over. She stopped Chelsea Chandler, who's a little bit more durable than Cachoeira at this point in her career. She beat up that other girl, but that girl is a can. Let's just be frank. Chelsea, you can make the argument a can too, so to be fair, but I think Cachoeira is a little bit of a kind of in that same elk too. That same, that same cloth,
Yeah.
So give me Joselyne Edwards here for the win. I think rounds 2 and 3 for the stoppage are very interesting in this fight. I don't think she gets out of there in round 1, but if it goes to decision, I'm not going to be surprised either. So third round decision's also something I'm going to be looking at. Give me Joselyne Edwards here for the win.
Next fight on the card at men's bantamweight, we have Elijah Swift-Smith going 1-on-1 with the silent finisher Toshiomi Kazama. Smith, 8-1 overall. Fighting out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, 22 years old. Kazama is 11-4 overall. Fighting out of Japan, repping Japan, 28 years old. This is another mid-level fight with two fighters who I'm not really extremely high on. I'll lean Elijah Smith here for the win, only because I think he's probably the more athletic of the two guys. And as long as he throws a straight or a jab down the pipe, it's not like Kazama's got the best striking defense. Kazama, we know the game plan. He's tried it numerous times. He wants to wrestle. He wants to grapple. He wants to stick to you like white on rice, like stank on shit. He wants to be all over that ass. Pause. Smith, to his credit, he's also a decent grappler. I do think this fight's going to be a little closer than anticipated, only because the people who've knocked out Kazama disrespected Kazama. They just walked him down, threw punches in his face, and fucked him up. I mean, just to be completely blunt. Smith doesn't really have that walk him down type of attitude. He's more of a counter striker, and I think he's that way because he's worried about his cardio. Doesn't really want to gas out. I think overs are kind of sneaky here. If I had to bet, maybe this fight even goes the distance. Smith should knock him out. Kazama is chinny, but I don't really trust Smith's process as much as well. That's why I'm kind of a little on the fence about how I want to really tackle this one. Give me Smith here for the win. I think he should win by KO, but it's probably going to be by decision.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I just think Elijah Smith has a better jab. He's just way better on the feet. He can wrestle himself. Kazama only really has one way to win. That's just to smother you. And I don't really trust his gas tank late in fights. Elijah Smith also has a bad gas tank, as you mentioned. This is an ugly fight. I think if the line's wide enough on Kazama, I think he's a live dog, because this fight can be very close. But if you're asking me for a podcast sake and a podcast pick, it's Elijah Smith. I think Elijah Smith should be able to work behind the jab. His punching power is not great at this level. It's okay. And he's not a guy that really has great finishing instincts either. Once again, this is a dog or pass spot, but just for the podcast pick, I'm going to lean Elijah Smith. I'm going to say via decision, but if he knocks him out, I'm not going to be really surprised considering that Kazama is a little chinny. Give me Elijah Smith here by decision.
Next fight on the card at women's flyweight, we have Gabriella Fernandes going 1-on-1 with Julija Stoliarenko. Fernandes is 10-3 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 31 years old. Stoliarenko is 11-8-1 overall, fighting out of Lithuania, repping Lithuania, 32 years old. This is a fight that I think favors Fernandes. This is a fight that I'm going to be picking Fernandes for the win. She should get a finish here. I say probably by submission, but I wouldn't rule out a knockout. Fernandes is just the bigger girl here. She's going to have the striking advantage. She hits hard. She definitely has the jiu-jitsu to deal with Stoliarenko here. Stoliarenko is a armbar specialist, a girl who's like first or second round. I say early first half of the fight or bust. If she doesn't get that armbar, she's not going to be able to compete here with Fernandes, in my opinion. Fernandes is the superior striker. Give me Fernandes here for the win. I think I'm going to stick to my guns by sub.
Yeah, and to my brother's point, Julia has the dimensions on Gabby, but Gabby is built like a brick shithouse. She's jacked. She's super explosive. She hits harder. I agree with you. I think if you're going to play Stoliarenko here, you have to play her via first round sub or second round sub, and you lay a little bit of money just to get good odds on it, considering she's a plus 300 dog. I think it's a rightful plus 300 dog. Gabby can grapple. Gabby's going to be by far the better striker here. I think Gabby gets her out of there. Give me Gabby Fernandes via second, third round knockout.
Next fight on the card at men's light heavyweight, we have the juice box. Julius Walker going one-on-one with Raffael Cerqueira. Walker, 6-1 overall. Fighting out of Springfield, Missouri, 26 years old. Cerqueira is 11-2 overall. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 35 years old. Low-level light heavyweight fight between two men who I think are very mid and have a lot to prove if they want to make a deep run in this light heavyweight division. On one end, we have Julius Walker, whose whole game plan is to push you against the cage, drag you down to the ground, and ground and pound. So he's the light heavyweight version of Martin Buday. On the other end, we have Cerqueira, a guy who is definitely more confident on the feet than Walker, but a guy who has been chinned in back-to-back losses in his first two fights in the UFC. Cerqueira supposedly has some grappling. He got some jitsu. He got some judo.
Trains with Jelton Almeida.
Trains with Jelton. Jelton's the one that kind of got him in. Yet to see it on the UFC level. Barely seen it on the regionals. This fight just thinks all the high hell because Walker can't strike. I think when it comes to maybe the clinch, maybe slight lean on Walker, but I mean, he's giving Cerqueira a way in if he's going to show the jiu-jitsu. And then on the ground, I guess if Walker's on top, it's a ground and pound finish, but we don't know how Cerqueira is on his back. We don't even know what Cerqueira is on top. Too many question marks on the Raffael side. I don't know how to fucking break this one down from a betting perspective. I guess I'll lean Walker here. Low confidence. Extremely low confidence.
I'll tell you how to play this from a betting perspective.
Oh, yeah?
Walker shouldn't be a minus 620 against anybody at this level.
Okay, well, that's gross.
Cerqueira is a plus 400 dog in this fight. Plus 450 on some books.
Wow.
He's the better striker. He has jiu-jitsu. Yeah, he's historically been chinned, but this is not a guy who has any decent offense from the outside. Those lazy kicks, he's only good in the clinch. He's only good with the elbows. He's only good with the knees on the inside, and that's to the body. So you got to hope he can knock this guy out with an elbow. I'm not sure he's going to be able to track down Cerqueira as easy as people think because Cerqueira has the better footwork. He's a better striker from the outside. He fights off his back foot a little too much. I just think at plus 400, ladies and gentlemen, this is a dog or pass spot. Even put quarter unit, you're going to win the unit on this shit. So for me, it's like, this is clear dog or pass. I'm curious as to the sub props because I want to see this guy's grappling, and I think he can grapple into Walker because I'm not convinced Walker is an elite grappler. He's just like a college basketball player, if I'm correct, that just got into MMA. How good is he going to be at jiu-jitsu if he's not really probably being challenged in training camp, considering he's probably the biggest guy in the room?
It's for both guys because both guys have, in terms of level experience, dog shit experience. They both have been crushing cans on their way to the UFC. Not really impressed with the level experience on both ends, which kind of adds to the variance of like how to really break this one down.
I just don't understand the line. And that's where I'm at with this. I think this is a pure dog or pass spot. And I think it makes sense to play the dog here because he's the more skilled fighter. He has better skills. And he's a plus 400 dog. Shit. Shit. That's my man from The Wire, bro. Shit.
Next fight on the card at men's featherweight, we have Andre Touchy Fili, AO, going one-on-one with Christian C-Rod Rodriguez.
He has the greatest nickname ever.
The most goated nickname. Touchy Fili is OD.
That's crazy.
Fili, 24-12 overall, fighting out of Sacramento, California, 35 years old. C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez is 12-3 overall, fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 27 years old. A weird fight to break down for me because I think if Andre Fili shows up like, primed, autonomous ultra instinct shit, when, he's locked in, not on the big booty Latinas, but on his opponent, I think he can style on C-Rod low key. But you know, it's real touch and go with touchy-feely here.
Yes, it is.
I gotta lean C-Rod here.
With that said,
he's gonna be the pick here for me. I trust the process. I trust that he's gonna be able to walk him down. He goes to the body. Fili doesn't really go to the body as much. C-Rod is more than competent on the ground. I don't trust C-Rod to really push the grappling game as much, but I do think he has an advantage here if he does. Fili's last fight was against Costa. He kind of just like let Costa take his neck on the ground, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, what was he doing? He was just checked out, or like it was just like a mental lap. I don't know what it was with Fili there, but
he has a lot of those.
And it sucks. I like Fili. I'll take C-Rod here tentatively. I say medium confidence. I think either way this fight probably doesn't get finished. It's probably going to be a decision. Regardless, give me Christian Rodriguez here for the win.
Yeah, I'm with you on C-Rod here. Even though he's taking a minus 210 favorite, I just feel like Andre has shown us what he is, right? Even though this guy has the body type that has given C-Rod trouble, long, lanky paws, but typically more on the grappling side, I would say Andre's probably the better wrestler here. I just don't have enough balls to bet him. I don't even have enough balls to pick him because I just feel like he has so many mental lapses in this fight, in his fights. He's going to find a way to give this one away. For me, C-Rod's the play, or not even the play, rather. He's the lean. Don't know how I'm going to play him. I can't get around to betting Andre unless Andre touches plus 200. That's when I feel like there's value. But at plus 162, I don't have enough confidence to say he's going to win this fight. I just feel like this is a fight that's, it stinks a little bit. I don't like the line. I love C-Rod at dog money. He's at minus money, so it's probably a stay off spot. But follow us on our social media platforms to see how we're going to bet it at the final day and the final hour.
Next fight on the card at men's bantamweight, we have Chapo Miles Johns going one-on-one with Jean Matsumoto. Johns is 15-3 overall, fighting out of Dallas, Texas, 31 years old. Matsumoto is 16-1 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 25 years old. This is another decent matchup that I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm a fan of Matsumoto, you know, cards on the table. I'm going to be picking Matsumoto here for the win. Couple of reasons. One, he's the younger guy. Two, I trust him to have more offense, or at least more output.
Agreed.
In this matchup. Three, I think he should be able to maybe not even mitigate, but him and Johns, when it comes to the wrestling, I think it's about even. Johns is going to be more for the control. Matsumoto is going to be more, you know, maybe submission hunting, and, you know, he's going to be a little more active. And he's a little hard to hold down as well. I'm not saying it won't be a close fight on the John side, the typical, prototypical wrestle boxer. I'm not saying he can't clip Matsumoto here, but I don't think he's going to clip Matsumoto here. Give me Matsumoto here in a close fight that probably goes the distance. In terms of betting, I might look at some overs. Matsumoto by decision is kind of where I'm leaning. And, you know, I guess with a cherry on top, Matsumoto does have the finishing upside, in my opinion, because I think he just has more ways to win.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Matsumoto side. You kind of got a taste of what this fight's probably going to look like based on Johns' last fight against Felipe Lima. Felipe Lima, a guy who throws a lot of volume, a guy who has a good get-up game, like Matsumoto, strikes a lot, like Matsumoto, young, like Matsumoto. I just feel like Johns is on his way out. He's a low-volume grappler, and not even grappler, wrestler who doesn't have a lot of good grappling control time, in my opinion. And there's a guy in Matsumoto that I think he's going to have a hard time holding down. There's a guy in Matsumoto that I picked against Rob Font the last fight that he stepped in on short notice on, and I think very highly of Rob Font. Rob Font probably doesn't win that fight if he doesn't sucker punch him in the beginning of the fight. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, there was some dirty shit going on. Some dirty Puerto Rican shit. Rob, I seen it. We seen it.
No, he was doing it, though.
It was dirty. It was dirty as fuck. You know, and we love you here, but bro, it was dirty. It was fucked up.
Gotta call a spade, man. You know what I'm saying?
But this is Matsumoto's fight to lose, in my opinion. I think the volume alone is going to be a lot for Johns to handle, unless Johns is on some other pharmaceuticals, post-USADA, allegedly. I don't know. Him and Trey Ogden took that picture together. I'll never get over that shit. They look fucking juicy as shit.
Hey, yo.
I'm just being honest, you know? Give me Matsumoto here. I'll say by decision because Johns is a tough customer.
Next fight on the card at women's strawweight, we have Iasmin Lucindo going one-on-one with Overkill Angela Hill. Lucindo 17-6 overall. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 23 years old. Overkill Hill is 18-14. Fighting out of California, Chula Vista, California to be exact, 40 years old. Well, it's an Angela Hill fight, so you know it's probably going to go to distance. I like the overs. I like fight goes. I like split majority. I'm going to be eyeballing all three of those props. In terms of a bet, in terms of a pick, I get it. Iasmin Lucindo's the younger fighter here. She's going to be active with the hands. She's been, you know, mixing in wrestling, trying to become, you know, nice and overall kind of like, you know, well-rounded.
I like the hand movement there.
You like the movement. I'm going to give you some movement here because I think this is dog or pass. And even though Lucindo should win this fight, Angela's a fucking dog. Angela's going to have the volume. She's going to walk this girl down. She's going to mix in maybe wrestling of her own. Angela Hill at 40, like wine, aging fine, got the skills that pay the bills. Give me Angela here for the win. Dog or pass, split decision is going to be messy, but I think she's going to pull it through here. I'm going for the upset.
Yeah, I don't hate that look. I don't hate that look at all. I'm going to lean Lucindo, but just because she's the younger fighter here, and I do trust her boxing and her jab to be competent enough to stifle Angela. I think she's going to also have a significant speed advantage, but I can't bet her at minus 180. I can't bet her at minus 180, particularly after that Amanda Lemos fight, where, you know, to your credit, you called it. I thought she was going to be able to do better work, and she didn't. This is a girl that is susceptible to the takedown. Angela has been mixing it in very well with her striking. She's getting better with age. This is going to be a very interesting fight, and Angela is going to have the volume here, in my opinion. I think she's going to throw more than Lucindo. Yeah, this is possibly a dog or pass spot. Not sure I'm going to get on board with you in terms of playing it or leaning it. I'm not even sure if you're going to play it or lean it, but in my opinion, Lucindo should win this fight, but Angela Hill wins this fight. I'm not going to be surprised. For the podcast sake, give me Lucindo here to win via decision, but not with a high degree of confidence.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have your boy, Eryk Anders, going one-on-one with CLD, not CDL, because ain't no driving here. Christian Leroy Duncan.
There's going to be some driving here. Driving me fucking crazy, CLD.
Yeah, we're going to get to that one. We got Anders, 17-8 overall, fighting out of Birmingham, Alabama, 38 years old. Christian Leroy Duncan, 11-2 overall, fighting out of England, repping England, 30 years old. This is a fight that Duncan should win. Duncan is probably going to win. Even though Anders, in my opinion, does have a clear path here, it's going to be the grappling. I don't know if he's going to be able to take Christian Leroy Duncan down, though. Maybe initially, maybe in the first round, I can see it. Because, you know, your boy, you know, he's a strong individual.
Yes.
Football background. He knows how to make a tackle. That being said, I worry about the cardio on the Anders side. I worry about the chin on the Anders side. I worry about the volume on the Anders side. Christian, big man, knows how to use his length, throws strikes in bunches, hard to take down. He should get the finish here, but I've said that so many times in previous Christian Leroy Duncan fights where he should get the finish. Doesn't get the finish. I'm going to bite the bullet one more time. It should be Christian Leroy Duncan by KO, but it's probably going to be Christian Leroy Duncan by decision.
Yeah, this is a fight where I'm with you. I think Eryk Anders, the other thing you didn't mention was his age and the wear and tear that he's had in some of the wars that he's had. CLD should knock him out, man. But the thing is, this is a CLD who should have knocked out Pulia of his last fight and stretched that to a decision. It was gross.
Yeah, it's,
to be frank with you.
I don't know what it is. It's like he knows he has the advantage, but he likes to play it safe. It's kind of like, just go for the kill, my man.
Yeah, and he might get taken down, but his get-up game is very good. Like, he's so explosive and athletic that I'm not worried about Eryk Anders holding him down for minutes here. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the speed advantage is going to be evident as hell. But, like I said, just like the Pulia fight, significant speed advantage. You just gotta hope COD is gonna put him away. Honestly, this is a fight that he should stop. He should stop Anders, in my opinion, unless Anders is post USADA doing some fugacious activity,
allegedly.
You know, and I feel like this is the only way that this fight gets interesting. But even if there is fugacious activity, allegedly, CLD should get this done. He should knock him out. I think the speed advantage is going to be absurd in this fight, in my opinion. The footwork is going to be absurdly, vastly, like the skill differential is going to be nuts. Give me CLD by knockout here, but man, we'll see what the lines come and play out. Follow us on all social media platforms for those final bets, as you know.
Next fight on the card at men's bantamweight and is currently constituted the co-main event of the evening. We have Astro Boy Steve Erceg going one-on-one with the Jamaican sensation, Ode Osbourne. Erceg is 12-4 overall, fighting out of Perth, West Australia, or Western Australia, repping Australia, 30 years old. Ode Osbourne is 13-8 overall, fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but repping Jamaica, 33 years old. Not Erceg's original opponent, not even his second original opponent. He was originally supposed to be fighting Alex Perez. Would have been a bomb-ass matchup in my opinion.
That's a great fight.
But unfortunately, Perez has just got, he's got bad luck when it comes to injuries, and my man's just always pulling out.
Yeah.
He has no kids.
Oh.
The pull-out game is crazy.
Oh my God.
Then was supposed to fight Young Sung Park. Young Sung Park ended up getting pulled out, not because of injury, but because they needed an opponent for Tatsuro Taira. In steps in Ode Osbourne. Looked decent in his last fight. I am very impressed with his striking. I've always been impressed with Ode's striking, Ode's speed. I think he's got quick hands, quick delivery. I think he's got some power. He's got some pop. The weakness for Ode has always been the grappling.
And the cardio.
And the cardio as the fight goes on. 100%. Erceg, I think is just a little too much too soon. Erceg is a guy who I'm very high on. A guy who was minutes away from beating Pantoja, in my opinion.
One mistake.
And, listen, Pantoja did what he had to do. This is Erceg's fight to lose. If Erceg's got any inkling of an IQ, which I think he does, you push the grappling here on Ode, especially early. I don't think you want to strike with Ode early. Credit to Ode. He is dangerous early on in the fight, but Erceg, just too well-rounded. Give me Erceg. I say maybe even by submission is probably a decent look, but submission decision is probably where I'm leaning for him.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I agree with you in terms of Ode's danger, particularly in round one. I think that's the only way you can bet him. He's coming in short notice. I don't expect his cardio to be up to par for 3 rounds. He might get finished late in this fight. Erceg third round decision is something to look at. But if you're asking if you have any interest in betting Ode, I think you bet first round knockout. And you would hope that Erceg has looked at the film and seen that he backed straight up with his chin up. That's why Kai France was able to lamp him. If he didn't correct that, Ode can find his chin. Ode is very fast. Erceg is very tall. He's going to be punching down in the sky a little bit. So there's some dynamics here that intrigue me. But if you're asking me, I'm with my brother here. I think Erceg's a little too much too soon. He's going to be the better wrestler, the better grappler. I think he's a better boxer in a lot of ways. Ode's a better striker. But outside of power and being more dynamic with his kicks, I feel like Erceg's got him covered everywhere here. So give me Erceg here by decision or sub. I'm with you. But if Ode knocks him out early, I'm not going to be surprised. That's how I'll be looking at this fight. Follow us on all social media platforms for how we're going to finally bet it.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight and is currently constituted the main event of the evening. We have the Caucasian Roman Dolidze going one-on-one with Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Dolidze, 15-3 overall. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, but repping Georgia, 37 years old. Hernandez, 14-2 overall. Fighting out of Dunningham, California, 31 years old. Interesting main event. A fight that I'm going to be leaning Fluffy here. Fluffy is going to be the pick for me officially, but I don't think it's going to be as maybe dominant as maybe some people might be expecting. Hernandez is definitely going to have the advantage on the ground, at least when it comes to the jiu-jitsu and the scrambling. But Dolidze is not really any kind of novice on the ground himself. He's got jiu-jitsu. And what I worry about on the Dolidze side, or at least for Hernandez, is that Dolidze is a powerful, big, hulking man.
Yeah.
And the physicality might give Hernandez some trouble, especially early on. Dolidze is definitely going to be a more powerful striker. But the way I kind of see this fight playing out is kind of like, when you get to, the final boss, or any kind of boss, maybe in the God of War games, and you get to the boss and you see the boss, he's kind of just moving extremely slow, but he's fucking so huge, he takes up the whole screen, and you got fucking Kratos just like running around on top of his body, whipping swords out, hitting him with hammers and shit.
Hey, yo.
Hernandez is gonna be that guy.
That's crazy work.
Like, Dolidze's physicality is gonna give some issues here, but Hernandez, if he plays it safe, plays it smart, doesn't directly exchange with Dolidze here, gets on his back and just engages with the grappling early and often, I think as the fight especially wears on, it's going to be a 5-rounder. I think Hernandez is going to have the cardio. I think Hernandez is going to have the savvy. I like Hernandez here for the win via sub. I'd say maybe rounds 3, 4, 5. I don't think he does it early. I think Dolidze is a little more competent than that. I'll give him a little more credit than, a lot of people might be giving him credit for. But Hernandez is going to be the side here for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think the sub is a little and the reason I say the sub is a little is because all he goes for is that head and arm choke series. That's all he goes for. He doesn't really go for anything like an arm bar. He doesn't go for rear naked chokes too much. He literally just goes to that head and arm series where he's able to lock up a darce and cradle you and get you out of there. I think there's a possibility he can stop this fight with punches if he gets on top of him and he's exhausted. Roman does present a lot of problems with the physicality, to your point, as well as the power. But if you're asking me, this is just a bit of a bigger, stronger Brendan Allen who's less technical. And if you're asking me if Brendan Allen fought Roman Dolidze, I think he rides his back and screams USA so the cows come home. And if I'm saying that, and it's a guy who beat Brendan Allen twice, and Brendan Allen also has decent pop in his right hand as well, also big for the division, also has physicality, is more technical than Roman, I feel like this is Fluffy's fight to lose. And by the way, here's the other thing. Fluffy, decently durable chin, susceptible to the body. What does Roman not do? Doesn't go to the body. That's why the Michelle Pereira fight was so much more interesting. And even the Brendan Allen fight, who will go to the body and dig to the body occasionally. Roman Dolidze doesn't punch to the body, doesn't kick to the body, at least not to my recollection. So
I do see some scenarios where Dolidze just ends up on top. And just because of the physicality and just the wrestling alone, maybe just stealing a round or two, just staying on top, just maintaining top position.
If you're betting Roman, you have to bet him for the finish. I don't think he's going to win the minutes in this fight. Like, he's not going to win the minutes down the stretch. You got to hope he finishes him in round 1, round 2, in my opinion. Because everyone that fights this guy, you can see it on their face. They're like, what the fuck is this with the cardio? They don't know what they're they think they know. They think they got their conditioning up enough to deal with this guy. And Hernandez has fought bigger guys, more explosive guys. It doesn't matter. He's going to eventually get you down with the chain wrestling. Very good chain wrestler, by the way. I think underratedly strong, by the way, because he's able to scoop these guys up and throw them down. Move Brendan Allen around like it was nobody's business in the second fight when Brendan Allen has clearly made significant improvement since their first fight. This is Fluffy's fight to lose, man. And I'm going to be honest with you, considering that Roman, once again, and I'll reiterate this, is not a body puncher and can hurt him, or even a kicker. I just feel like Fluffy should bury him. Give me Fluffy Hernandez to win this fight via punches or decision.
And that does it for our combat coverage. That does it for UFC Vegas 109. That does it for episode 110. That does it for us. My brother, the pleasure's yours. Take us home.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. Love you guys. Holla at you guys. See you guys next week for episode 111, UFC 319, Chimaev versus Duplessis. And by the way, Yankee fans, get it together. Make some more trades. Mets on top. Best relief pitching in the MLB. Go fuck yourself. See you guys next week. Holla at you. Later.